The football team returned to the ice castle, and the volleyball team got themselves back in the win column. All this and more on the Penguin Rundown. Welcome into the Penguin Rundown. Kyle Wills here. Like I said in the open, the football team was able to return to the ice castle this past weekend, but unfortunately did not have the success that they were looking for. However, there were some YSU Athletics that did play well, as the volleyball team split the weekend, getting themselves back into the win column, and the bowling team also had another strong finish to start the year. And that is where I will get you off, as over Halloween weekend, the bowling team finished their second competition of the season, finishing in second place at the Desi Strong Classic. The contest featured schools from all over the country, including multiple nationally ranked teams, but the Penguins were able to hold their ground through it all. After Friday's Baker matches that landed the Penguins in sixth place, Saturday was the pivot to help the Penguins get into the top 4 spot at the tournament and have a chance at the championships. On Saturday, junior Megan Grams finished in the top 5, which included a game of 276 points, the third highest in program history. Other contributors from Saturday's affair came from freshman Jade Cote and senior Emma Wren, who both finished in the top 12. On Sunday, YSU was able to sweep the second and third seeded teams Stephen F. Austin and Tulane, but ultimately would lose to Vanderbilt in the championship match. Penguins will catch a break this weekend, but will be back in action starting November 12th at the Stephen F. Austin Lady Jack Classic in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Penguins would return to the ice castle this past weekend as they took on 10th-ranked South Dakota State. The Penguins would turn to third-string quarterback Mitch Davidson after Demetri Crenshaw and Joe Craycraft sustained injuries. Davidson came into the game and made an immediate impact, scoring 2 touchdowns and throwing for 111 yards. Junior wide receiver Bryce Oliver had his fingerprints all over this game as he had 3 catches for 78 yards and 2 scores. Defensive back Jordan White also had a bright spot for the Penguins defense as he had 9 tackles and a fumble recovery. Unfortunately, Saturday was not the Penguins' day as they would fall to the Jackrabbits 47-16. The Jackrabbits mustered up 553 yards of total offense. Quarterback Chris Aladokin threw for 260 yards and a touchdown. Running back Pierre Strong would also run for 163 yards and 2 scores. The Penguins will look to rebound this upcoming Saturday as they travel to the University of North Dakota to play the North Dakota Fighting Hawks at 1 p.m. You can follow this game on 570 WKBN and ESPN+. The men's tennis team closed out their slate at the 3-day Cleveland State Viking Invitational at the Medical Mutual Tennis Pavilion. Joining the Penguins in the event was Butler, Niagara, Xavier, Buffalo, Dayton, and Cleveland State. Over the weekend, freshman Clement Mangai and Nathan Favier won 4 matches to earn the doubles title. Also in doubles play, Azier Peña Banez and David Alvarez Moreno earned a pair of victories. In singles play, Laurentiu Mondachescu reached the quarterfinals, and Mangai and Javier Pla picked up a pair of singles wins for the Gwins. Congratulations to the men's tennis team on a great fall season. The men's and women's swimming and diving teams beat Valparaiso over the weekend, but dropped a tough one to Green Bay. The Penguins outscored Valparaiso on the men's side 220-68 and the women 223-69. First place finishers on the women's side were Kayla Rasman, who won the 3-meter diving event, while Dasha Toth would win the 1-meter. Haley Clark also finished in first in 2 events, winning the 1,000 freestyle with a time of 10 minutes and 50.93 seconds, and the 500 freestyle with a time of 5 minutes and 19.87 seconds. Winners on the men's side were Aleska Radinovic, Fabian Gimes, Soma Albert, Jasper Likens, and Gavin Webb. Webb won the 1,000 freestyle with a time of 9 minutes and 53.41 seconds, while Gimes would win the 200 freestyle with a time of 1 minute and 44.3 seconds. Gimes won 2 events over the weekend as he took home a first-place finish in the 500 freestyle as well. The Penguins are next in action on Saturday against Niagara and St. Francis. The meet starts at 1 p.m. Now the basketball season is coming up, and for our roundtable segment, we will go to Caleb and John for our women's basketball preview. What do you have for us, guys?
Thank you very much. Here we are at the round table. I'm Caleb. Joining me once again is John. And John, today we have a bit of a season preview on the table here for our women's basketball team. They finished up their spring season overall with a 10-8 record. And some of the highlights from that season include leading the Horizon League in three-pointers. And also, I know it's not really much of an on-the-court thing, but off the court, they had the second best team GPA in all of NCAA Division I athletics. So that's definitely something this team prides itself on. Going into the roster, they just named their 3 team captains. What can you tell me about them?
So this year's team captains for the YSU women's basketball team is Chelsea Olsen. She's a 5th year and she's a guard. Maddie Alba, she is a junior. She is also a guard. And Megan Callahan, she is also a 5th year student and a guard as well. Now with Chelsea Olsen, she has had a phenomenal career so far. She has been named 3-time All-Horizon League selection. She has also won the Ed DeGregorio MVP each of the last 2 seasons, and she is the YSU 2021 Female Athlete of the Year.
So absolutely. Chelsea Olsen has just been such an integral part of this women's basketball team for years now, so she definitely wears that C on her chest with pride. Now with the other 2 captains on the team, junior Maddie Alba, she is younger than her co-captains, but she still has plenty of experience. What she really brings to the court is three-point shooting. That's definitely a strong suit for her. And also, fun fact, that her brother, Jack Alba, is a cross-country runner here at YSU. So it's definitely just nice to have that YSU athletic family running through over here. And then we're going over to the 3rd captain, 5th-year senior, a transfer from Robert Morris, Megan Callahan. Something else that she does really well is three-point shooting. We talked about it a little bit earlier. That's definitely something that this team relies on to get points on the board. And also with Callahan, plenty of experience playing at Robert Morris. She played plenty of games for them. I don't think she even missed 1 game for them. Definitely Callahan, she's dependable on the court, and the team's really going to be looking for her to be a starter. She's going to be a starting presence on the court for this season. Mm-hmm. Now, looking at the roster beyond the captains, we did lose some players last season to the transfer portal, but when you combine all the new freshmen and transfers coming into this season, there is 11 new players to the YSU roster. So plenty of excitement coming from there.
Definitely. So speaking of excitement, we're going to talk about the schedule coming up for the YSU women's basketball team. So for the YSU women's basketball team, this is the earliest start ever to conference league play in program history. This is also the first non-conference games in 2 years. They kick off their schedule Tuesday, November 9th at Eastern Michigan. And then on Monday, November 15th, this is YSU's first home game against Akron. Then they'll be on the road for the next two games against Oakland and Detroit Mercy.
So we have the games coming up. What are the keys to the YSU women's basketball team to have a successful season this year?
Now, the keys for the YSU women's basketball team to have such a good season is to make sure that the players shoot from 3. That is our strongest advantage for the YSU women's basketball team. And also, you want to make sure they get involved in the paint, because that's where they can score the most points, the 2-pointers, just to be able to dish the ball and the assist as well. And then making sure that the girls can get steals, because we had such an advantage, and the most steals as well.
Great. I'm glad you touched on the assists, because when it comes to team together, everyone achieves more. That's all the time we have here at the Round Table. You can purchase single-game women basketball tickets right now at ysusports.com. I've been Caleb Ellison.
And I'm John Ostapowitz.
Now it's time to send it back to Kyle, who has updates on our cross-country team.
Thanks, guys. Before we get into the results of the cross-country team, we got a chance to talk to head coach Brian Gorby about the confidence heading into the weekend and 2 senior runners on what it takes to win it all.
The confidence, of course, as we do every year, we, of course, are more of a building type, again, focus, of course, on 1 or 2 meet situation at the end of the year, which is conference. These folks have been part of a lot of championships in the past, winning indoor and winning outdoor this past year and stuff. And a lot of them have won it in basically the last couple laps. And great, probably one of our best, or if not our best, again, kicking team ever as far as the last 1,000 meters of a race. Again, again, it's great to kind of have that type of a capability and be able to kind of cheer and kind of fire some folks up and then to see them react. Not everybody does that, but this group is pretty special.
A lot of hard work, a lot of miles, a lot of effort, pain to say the least, but also just like positivity and encouragement from the staff and my teammates.
I think just overall experience with the conference championships. Running here 5 years, being here with a lot of different guys. I've seen a lot of different things. I've been through a lot of different injuries and a lot of different experiences. So I think that overall, just knowledge of different courses and overall experience and longevity in this is preparing me well for the conference meet.
The men's and women's cross-country teams competed in the Horizon League Championships in Indianapolis over the weekend. On the men's side, they crossed the line second behind IUPUI for the second straight season. The men's program scored 59 points to earn the second place trophy and finished 29 points behind IUPUI. Leading the pack for the men was sophomore Hunter Christopher, who posted a 25-minute and 42-second race. This was strong enough for the runner-up individual finish. After Christopher, the men posted 4 top 20 finishes, including a top 10 finish from another sophomore, Tyler Clark. Now to the women's team, as they posted a third-place finish while placing 3 runners in the top 20 and 2 more in the top 25. Junior Morgan Cole led the Penguins in the 6,000-meter race with a time of 22 minutes and 35.4 seconds. Cole's time was fast enough for third place individually. Behind Cole was senior Nicole Squattrito, who finished 8th with a time of 23 minutes and 22.1 seconds. The cross-country team will take a week off and then return to action in the Great Lakes Regional on November 12th. Now for the volleyball team, as they returned home on Monday following their last Horizon League road trip of the season against IUPUI and Purdue Fort Wayne. In the match last Friday against IUPUI, 3 sets were determined by 4 points or less. But the Panthers sought revenge after falling to YSU earlier in the month as they defeated them 3-1. Paula Gershing led the Gwynns offense with 18 of the team's 40 kills, and Josie Borum, who is stepping in for injured setter Lexi Beakey, contributed 23 assists and 7 kills. Defensively, libero Caitlin Jones recorded 16 digs, and Amine Beaupre had a career-high 5 blocks. The following day, YSU traveled to Purdue Fort Wayne to finish their road trip with another 4-set match, coming out on top against the Mastodons. This was a bittersweet victory for Purdue Fort Wayne because they swept YSU in the Beagley Center earlier in the season, but fell short in their home court. Paula Gershing once again had an extraordinary performance as she posted her 5th 20-kill match with 23, along with a match-high 4 aces, 8 digs, and 4 blocks. Behind her was Amanda Lebiota with 10 kills and Isadora Sizik with 5. Josie Bourne assisted 38 of the team's 47 kills while adding 11 digs and a block, and Caitlin Jones would lead defensively with 20 digs. The team will return home for the remainder of their schedule, starting with a match this Friday against Robert Morris University at 6 p.m. This match will be watched on ESPN+, and for more on the volleyball team, I got a chance to catch up with senior Amanda Lebiota.
I feel that the team has been really, how can I say, together. We're working a lot of communication and talking outside of the court to help the inside with all the losses and injuries that we're having. And I feel that's helping us a lot because we saw the results last weekend. We still lost, but it was way better than the past games we had. It's amazing finishing at home because we're gonna have our fans, our friends here, some of the girls' family, and also we're gonna have the senior night. So it's gonna be extra special to finish at home.
It's now time for our Penguin Play of the Week. So let's send it over to Drew Peterson.
Thanks, Kyle. This week's Play of the Week recipient is Bryce Oliver, wide receiver for the football team. Bryce had a beautiful 35-yard touchdown catch from quarterback Mitch Davidson near the end of the third quarter in the YSU South Dakota State football game. Let's take a look. With the Penguins' third-string quarterback in the game, Mitch Davidson throws a dime to Bryce Oliver with defenders in his face. You see here that Bryce goes up amongst 2 defenders and makes a spectacular catch and backpedals into the end zone. Let's take a look in slow motion. As he somehow pulls it down over the safety, then you see the little celebration towards the end there. Congratulations, Bryce. I'm Andrew Peterson, and that was your Play of the Week. Kyle, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. That'll wrap it up here for the Penguin Rundown. Make sure to check us out on social media at Penguin Rundown 1 on Instagram and Twitter. and make sure to check out ysusports.com for news, stats, highlights, and more. I'm Kyle Wills, and I'll see you next time, Penguin Nation.